evening everyone. I, Apurva Phadke, doctoral student in Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, take the pleasure to welcome you all to the 11th E-Convocation of ICT Mumbai. Convocation ceremony is a joyous and memorable occasion for sure. When a student steps into ICT, he or she enters with a dream. The journey here, be it for undergraduates or for postgraduates, is unforgettable in every sense. Convocation marks the end of this journey and beginning of another. It is the day when we students turn into alumni and begin a lifelong journey of gratitude with this institution. This is our 4th convocation in the virtual mode, with the hope that this will be the last digital convocation and next year we'll all assemble in our beloved Pidilite Pavilion to celebrate this occasion. Let us start with this year's ceremony. I request Music Club Secretary Madhulika Banerjee and TY BTech Polymer student Parth Vaidya to recite the national anthem. Let us all rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल वंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
We shall begin with our institute song, Rasayana Devike.
जय घोष तुझा उत्कर्ष
Let us welcome our dignitaries. I request our GS Prathamesh Patil to do the honors. Let us welcome our Honorable Vice-Chancellor Professor A.B. Pandit with a bouquet. I request Prathamesh to welcome Professor S.S. Bhagwat, Dean Academic Programs. Let us welcome our Controller of Examination, Professor P.R. Gopte. Thank you, Prathamesh, for such a warm welcome to our dignitaries. Now I request you to please come and give a welcome speech.
Good evening to one and all present today. I, Prathamesh Patil, General Secretary, Technological Association, am extremely privileged to have the opportunity to welcome you all on the 11th Convocation of Institute of Chemical Technology Mumbai. I would like to welcome our Chief Guest, Dr. Shekhar Mande, Secretary, DSIR and Director General, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, New Delhi. Honorable Chancellor, Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar. Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor A.B. Pandit, Registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, Dean Academic Programs, Professor S.S. Bhagwat, Controller of Examination, Professor P.R. Gopte, all professors and students. Thank you.
I request our Honorable Vice-Chancellor to lead us through the proceedings of 11th E-Convocation. I request the Honorable Vice-Chancellor to invite the Chancellor.
Honorable Chancellor, I request your honor to declare the convocation open.
I declare the convocation open.
I request our Honorable Vice-Chancellor to address the gathering.
The Chief Guest of the 11th Convocation of ICT, Director General CSIR, Dr. Shekhar Mande, Chancellor of ICT Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, members of the board, distinguished invitees, directors of the institute, Padma Vibhushan Professor M.M. Sharma, Padma Vibhushan Professor J.B. Joshi, Professor T.K. Venkatesan, and ex-Vice-Chancellor Padma Shri G.D. Yadav. Directors of both the campuses, Professor Annapure, Professor Vavia, Deans, Head of the Departments, Center Coordinators, my faculty, Assistant Registrars, support staff, my colleagues and office bearers. I welcome my graduating student friends and their families on this occasion. I am extremely delighted with this opportunity to address you all again on this 11th convocation. For the benefit of the students, as decided earlier, we will have interim convocations every year so that the graduating students do not have to wait till February, March the following year for their degrees. Thus, we hope to meet soon, possibly in September 2022 again. We are nearly out of woods as far as COVID-19 pandemic is concerned, and we have already started on an experimental basis the offline activities from 21st of March 2022. On this occasion, let us remember our friends and colleagues who has left us from this world. Professor S.B. Chandalia, former director of ICT, passed away in August 2021. Dr. Sri Kumar Banerjee, our adjunct professor and well-wisher and former secretary, Department of Atomic Energy, passed away in March, and many others who we fondly remember today. Dear all who are present today, we are very happy that you have chosen to be with us, sharing our joy and celebrating the achievements of your ward and the institute and its stakeholders on this day. ICT continues to perform academically very well in spite of the trying conditions, with the exemplary commitment shown by the faculty and support staff, supported by an understanding, accommodating student community. This is a day to gratefully acknowledge their efforts and contributions in tiding over this crisis by actively participating in running and managing the hostel, the messes, and also looking after the mess workers in their hour of need. This 11th convocation is an honest attempt to bring this academic calendar back on the track. We are all delighted that Dr. Mande, DG CSIR, has agreed to be the chief guest and will deliver the keynote address on the 11th convocation and motivate our graduating students. Dr. Mande is a perfect blend of physics and biological sciences, and I am sure he will offer our students the possible future, even new career paths. In the past 8 months since 11th interim convocation of ICT in August 2021, ICT has followed the motto, show must go on. We continue to perform all the academic activities using a perfect blend of hybrid working, combining offline laboratory work and online lecturing. The exam and account section staff has continued to contribute, ensuring the essential activities related to academics and finance are not hampered. The notable achievements of the institute worth mentioning will be touched upon by our Honorary Chancellor in his address, and I will not dwell upon much there. Some definitely worth mentioning are Professor Vandana Patrawale getting Abdul Kalam Technology Innovation National Fellowship from the Indian National Academy of Engineering, which is worth noting because she comes from a basic pharmacy background and practices and translates her research into activities which are physical in nature. Professor G.D. Yadav got Jai Krishna Memorial Award of Indian National Academy of Engineering and also got elected to the fellowship of US National Academy of Engineering, a single most honor. Dr. Vishwanath Dalvi got AICT Vishwesharaya Best Teacher Award, and after a long time, maybe a gap of 20-25 years or so, Professor Rekha Singhal got elected to the fellowship of Indian National Science Academy. This is a singularly noteworthy achievement for an ICT alumni not belonging to chemical engineering but technology stream getting recognized by the Indian National Science Academy. The continued support of alumni at various critical junctures is most gratefully acknowledged. ICT Mumbai Indian Oil Odisha Campus Bhubaneswar, which was established on 18th March 2018, and ICT Mumbai Marathwada Campus Jalna, which was established on 4th of May 2018, have continued to perform to their full potential. With the allotment of land for both these campuses by Odisha and Marathwada, government of respectively the Odisha government and the government of Maharashtra, and their help is gratefully acknowledged. And the academic activity and the construction activity for the construction of the campus will commence soon. Process development lab construction with significant CSR contribution coming from our alumni Shri Lalit Chadda to the tune of 1.2 crores has already started and is expected to be completed in June-July this year to house all the new equipments being procured through the PERS grant. The MLW-MSW project led by DBT Center and housed at BPCL Mumbai campus are expected to start again in June-July 2022. The achievements of individual stakeholders of the institute are listed in the annual report, while one more big donation needs to be acknowledged here is a donation of 100 million, that is 10 crores of rupees, from Alkil Amines to initiate PhD fellowships starting next academic year for the PhD fellowships. With an enthusiastic response and participation from faculty, support staff, and most importantly, students, ICT with the initiative of our registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, was able to tackle the pandemic successfully with minimum damage. E-lectures and online course content delivery continues as per the new timetable planned for the academic year 21-22, and as I said just now, offline activities have also started. In the meantime, ICT IPC team ensured the net connectivity 24/7, led by Ms. Madhuri Shetty, Shri Yogesh Raut, and two new recruits, Aditya and Sonal, need to be complemented. Students have started offline practicals as well as classes, and we hope to increase these offline activities in due course. While we laud the achievements of the students and its stakeholders, it is equally important to understand and accept the challenges faced by Institute, as was mentioned in my last address. ICT is planning to create a significantly additional infrastructure in the form of additional classrooms, hostel accommodation, laboratories to address the growing needs of the students. These will be housed in our planned DEICT center, the construction of which has been kept on hold due to pandemic and other constraints. We need additional 100 crores to complete this and make it functional. We plan to restart this activity in the new financial year. Thus, our quest for donations and assistance for academic activity continues, and it is my sincere appeal to alumni and all other associated with ICT to come on board to support our efforts. I would like to conclude my address by first congratulating all the students who will be conferred with degrees today: doctorate, Master of Chemical Engineering, Master of Technology, Master of Pharmacy, Master of Science, Physics, Chemistry, and Mathematics. Thanks to Dr. Shekhar Mande, DGCSR, for graciously accepting ICT's request to be the chief guest on this 11th convocation. I gratefully acknowledge the contributions of our Chancellor, Padma Vibhushan Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, members of the board and the Finance Committee for their assistance and guidance from time to time, and that to all my fellow stakeholders of ICT for this successful gathering at the 11th convocation on 24th of March 2022. Welcome to you all again. Namaskar, Jai Hind.
I request the students of Masters of Chemical Engineering, Masters of Technology, Masters of Pharmacy, Masters of Engineering, Masters of Science shall stand at his or her place and raise hands. Pursuant to the recommendations of the Academic Council to confer the master's degrees, I present to you 66 candidates who have been examined duly and found qualified for the master's degrees in Science and Technology, MChem Eng, MTech, MPharm, ME and MSc I pray that these candidates may be admitted to the respective degrees.
Today, on the 24th day of March 2022, on the occasion of 11th Convocation of the Institute of Chemical Technology Mumbai, in my capacity as the Chancellor of this institute, I hereby grant the request made by the Dean Academic Programs and request the Vice-Chancellor to confer upon the candidates the master's degree, M.Chem Eng, M.Tech, M.Pharm, M.E. and M.Sc on 66 candidates in absentia.
I request students to take their seats and invite heads of the departments. Names of the students will be announced by the respective heads. Master of Chemical Engineering. Sir, let me call upon Professor V.K. Rathod, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, to present the Master of Chemical Engineering candidates. Professor Rathod, please.
I, Professor V.K. Rathod, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, will call the Master of Chemical Engineering candidates. Mohsin Ahmed Sheikh, son of Ahmed and Sultana. Pradnya Shankar Gosavi, daughter of Shankar and Sharda. Priyansh Bhai Jyoti Kakote, son of Bhavya and Judy. Rajashri Rekhchand Undirwadi, daughter of Rekhchand and Vandana. Subhasmita Das, daughter of Devadatt and Tapti. Ullas Nathu Repade, son of Nathu and Kavita. Vardhan Kaushik, son of Yogendra and Mamta. Yash Mane, son of Dinkar and Nisha.
Master of Pharmacy. Sir, let me call upon Professor S.V. Joshi, Head of the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, to present the Master of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutics, Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Medicinal and Natural Product candidates. Professor Joshi, please.
I, Professor Srirang V. Doshi, Head of Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, would call the Master of Pharmacy in Pharmaceutics, Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Medicinal Natural Products. M.Pharm Pharmaceutics, Mahesh Dattatre Mengade, son of Dattatre Anuja. Ankita Nitin Yavalkar, daughter of Nitin Vandana. Mahak Birthare, daughter of Anand and Madhuri. M.Pharm Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Snehal Sampat Ukhade, daughter of Sampat and Aruna. M.Pharm Medicinal Natural Products, June Milin Wag, daughter of Milin and Zuili. Muhammad Riaz Beg, son of Muhammad and Nazma. Pramod Sopan Wagmare, son of Sopan and Pushpa.
Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor S.V. Joshi, Head of the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Technology candidates. Professor Joshi, please.
I, Professor Shekhar V. Doshi, Head of Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Technology candidates Karen Prakash Saiswani, daughter of Prakash and Jaya; Nikita Srivalsalan Nair, daughter of Srivalsalan Radha; Shweta Shivpal Singh, daughter of Shivpal Sushila; Vivek Digambar Rathod, son of Digambar and Kalavati.
Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Biotechnology. Sir, let me call upon Dr. Prajakta Dandegar Jain, Program Coordinator of Pharmaceutical Biotechnology, to present the Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Biotechnology candidates. Dr. Prajakta, please.
I, Dr. Prajakta Dandegar Jain, Program Coordinator of Pharmaceutical Biotechnology, would call the Master of Technology in Pharmaceutical Biotechnology candidates Sanjivani Aniruddha Pathak, daughter of Aniruddha and Anuja; Sanika Parshuram Joshi, daughter of Parshuram and Pradnya.
Master of Technology in Fibers and Textile Processing Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor R.D. Kale, Head of the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Fibers and Textile Processing Technology candidates. Professor Kale, please.
I, Professor Ravindra D. Kale, Head of the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Fibers and Textile Processing Technology candidates Gyanendra Kumar, son of Ram Gopal and Chandrani; Kanhaiyalal Kumawat, son of Jamana and Shankari;
Jasam Prakash Patnaik,
son of Jaya and Mridula; Lilona Pradhan, daughter of Narendra and Sanjukta; Mosmi Raut, daughter of Harendra and Kabita; Narsivan Prabhala, son of Venkateshwar Rao and Padmavati Devi; Shruti Narendra Ghadge, daughter of Narendra and Kunda; Suramya Mishra, son of Sukanta and Kalpana; Rima Barua, daughter of Hem and Mamoni.
Master of Technology in Dyestuff Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor G.S. Shankarling on behalf of Professor N. Shekhar, Head Department of Specialty Chemicals and Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Dyestuff Technology candidates. Professor Shankarling, please.
I, Professor G.S. Shankarling, on behalf of Head of the Department of Specialty Chemical Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Dyestuff Technology candidates. Amar Ranjit Singh, son of Ranjit and Asha. Pratiksha Dashrath Khade, daughter of Dashrath and Sunita.
Master of Technology in Perfumery and Flavor Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor G.S. Shankarling, Program Coordinator of Perfumery and Flavor Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Perfumery and Flavor Technology candidates. Professor Shankarling, please.
I, Professor G.S. Shankarling, Program Coordinator of Perfumery and Flavor Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Perfumery and Flavor Technology candidates. Mangesh Dilip Chowdhury, son of Dilip and Neelima. Vidita Ramachandra Une, daughter of Ramachandra and Shilpa.
Master of Technology in Food Engineering and Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor R.S. Singhal, Head of the Department of Food Engineering and Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Food Engineering and Technology candidates. Professor Singhal, please.
I, Professor Rekha S. Singhal, Head of the Department of Food Engineering and Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Food Engineering and Technology candidates. Muhammad Salman Chukan, son of Muhammad and Zainab. Tania Jha, daughter of Ratan and Saraswati.
Master of Technology in Food Biotechnology. Sir, let me call upon Professor Lakshmi Anantnarayan, Program Coordinator of Food Biotechnology, to present the Master of Technology in Food Biotechnology candidates. Professor Lakshmi Anantnarayan, please.
I, Professor Lakshmi Anantnarayan, Program Coordinator of the Food Biotechnology, would call the Master of Technology in Food Biotechnology candidates. Chirag Paramananda Anandi, son of Paramananda Neela.
Master of Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor A.P. Pratap, Head of the Department of Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactant Technology candidates. Professor Amit Pratap, please.
I, Professor Amit Pratap, Head of the Department of Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology candidates. Jnaneshwar Madanrao Kolle, son of Madanrao and Mangal. Sneha Gopal Wagmode, daughter of Gopal and Sharda. Kundan Sunil Birla, son of Sunil and Saroj. Prasad Sanjay Kumar Sanap, son of Sanjay Kumar and Pratibha. Somesh Sanjay Patil, son of Sanjay and Sangeeta. Utkarsha Rajendra Bangde, daughter of Rajendra and Vandana.
Master of Technology in Polymer Engineering and Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor S.T. Maske, Head of the Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, to present the Master of Technology in Polymer Engineering and Technology candidates. Professor Maske, please.
I, Professor S.T. Maske, Head of the Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, would call the Master of Technology in Polymer Engineering and Technology candidates. Chetan Kailash Phole, son of Kailash and Usha. Deepak Shivaji Gangurde, son of Shivaji and Jaya. Sagar Nandakumar Dongre, son of Nandakumar and Ranjana.
Master of Technology in Surface Coating Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor S.T. Maske, Head of the Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, to present the Master of Technology in Surface Coating Technology candidates. Professor Maske, please.
I, Professor S.T. Maske, Head of the Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, would call the Master of Technology in Surface Coating Technology. Rahul Vinod Rathod, son of Vinod and Kalyani.
Master of Technology in Bioprocess Technology. Sir, let me call upon Dr. R.D. Jain, Program Coordinator of the Bioprocess Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Bioprocess Technology candidates. Dr. Jain, please.
I, Dr. R.D. Jain, Program Coordinator of the Bioprocess Technology, would call the Master of Technology in Bioprocess Technology candidates. Divya Achal, daughter of Ram and Shobha. Suraj Sharma, son of Pradeep and Sasmita. Ekta Devi, daughter of Aman and Sudeshna. Preeti Kumari, daughter of Suresh and Bindiya. Priya, daughter of Mukesh and Uma. Swagatika Behera, daughter of Ashok and Savita. Manish Ravi Kiran Gore, son of Ravi Kiran and Kavita.
Master of Technology in Green Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor V.K. Rathod, Program Coordinator of the Green Technology, to present the Master of Technology in Green Technology candidates. Professor Rathod, please.
I, Professor V.K. Rathod, Program Coordinator of the Green Technology, will call the Master of Technology in Green Technology candidates. Anuri Datta, daughter of Debashish and Arunima, Yagna Surabai Hirpara, son of Surabai and Induben, Payal Sudhir Dalvi, daughter of Sudhir and Smita, Suyesh Prakash Purandare, son of Prakash and Prajakta, Yashraj Avinash Gandhi, son of Avinash and Snehal.
Master of Engineering in Plastic Engineering. Sir, let me call upon Professor V.R. Gawal, Head of the Department of General Engineering, to present the Master of Engineering in Plastic Engineering candidates. Professor Gawal, please.
I, Professor V.R. Gawal, Head of the Department of General Engineering, would call the Master of Engineering in Plastic Engineering candidates. Jagdish R, son of Rajendran and Margata Valli, Mohit Prakash Salunkhe, son of Prakash and Pratibha, Naveen Nitin Temburnikar, son of Nitin and Nanda, Paras Manoj Kumar Tholia, son of Manoj and Manjusha, Sachin Anant Kamble, son of Anant and Malti.
Master of Science in Engineering Mathematics. Sir, let me call upon Dr. Ajit Kumar, Head of the Department of Mathematics, to present the Master of Science in Engineering Mathematics candidates. Dr. Ajit Kumar, please.
I, Dr. Ajit Kumar, Head of the Department of Mathematics, would call the Master of Science in Engineering Mathematics candidates. Chetna Suresh Jadhav, daughter of Suresh and Surekha. Shiva Bhimchandra Roy, son of Bhimchandra and Reena.
Honorable Mr. Chancellor, pursuant to the recommendations of the Academic Council to confer the doctorate degrees, I present to you 35 candidates who have been examined duly and found qualified for the doctorate degrees in science and technology. I pray that these candidates may be admitted to the respective degrees.
Today, on the 24th day of March of 2022, on the occasion of 11th Convocation of the Institute of Chemical Technology Mumbai, in my capacity as the Chancellor of the Institute, I hereby grant the request made by the Dean, Academic Programs, and request the Vice-Chancellor to confer upon the candidates the doctorate degree on 35 candidates in absentia.
I request the students to take their seat and invite heads of the departments. Each head of the department shall announce the names of the candidates. Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Chemical Engineering. Sir, let me call upon Professor V.K. Rathod, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, to present the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Chemical Engineering candidates. Professor Rathod, please.
I, Professor V.K. Rathod, Head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, will call the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Chemical Engineering candidates. Pratik Ravindra Hande, son of Ravindra and Prabhavati. Amol Vilas Kanjre, son of Vilas and Rajkanya. Pallavi Pratap Dekne, daughter of Pratap and Sharda, Shruti Hinge, daughter of Prakash and Suchita, Sarvesh Sanjay Sabnis, son of Sanjay and Rajashri, Sunu S, daughter of Subramanyam and Madhumati, Swapnil Kup Singh Rajput, son of Kup Singh and Asha, Rahul Sadashiv Patil, son of Sadashiv and Girija.
Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Pharmacy. Sir, let me call upon Professor S.V. Joshi, Head of the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Pharmacy branches Pharmaceutics, Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Pharmacology candidates. Professor Joshi, please.
I, Professor Shekhar V. Doshi, Head of Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Technology in Pharmacy, Pharmaceutics, Pharmacology and Pharmaceutical Chemistry candidates. PhD Tech, Pharmaceutics, Satish Vishram Rosekar, son of Vishram and Purnabai, Rijo John, son of John and Ludhiamma, Manasi Manohar Chogle, daughter of Manohar and Mrunal. PhD Tech Pharmacology, Sneha Ramesh Bagle, daughter of Ramesh and Yashoda. PhD Tech Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Yatin Ulhas Gadkari, son of Ulhas and Pushpa.
Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Green Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor V.K. Rathod, Program Coordinator of Green Technology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Green Technology candidates. Professor Rathod, please.
I, Professor V.K. Rathod, Program Coordinator of the Green Technology, will call the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Green Technology candidates. Manali Sanjay Dhawan, daughter of Sanjay and Geeta, Shivani Suranarayan Shastri Vedula, daughter of Suranarayan Shastri and Usha Kiran.
Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor A.P. Pratap, Head of the Department of Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology candidates. Professor Amit Pratap, please.
I, Professor Amit Pratap, Head of the Department of Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology, would call the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Oils, Oleochemicals and Surfactants Technology candidates. Pawan Machindra Paraskar, son of Machindra and Kalpana.
Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Bioprocess Technology. Sir, let me call upon Professor Lakshmi Anant Narayan, Program Coordinator of the Bioprocess Technology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy, Technology in Bioprocess Technology candidates. Professor Lakshmi Anant Narayan, please.
I, Professor Lakshmi Anantanarayan, Program Coordinator of the Bioprocess Technology, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Technology in Bioprocess Technology candidates. Bangde Prachi Sudhir, daughter of Sudhir and Bharati. Anurag Dobhal, son of Tota and Sarveshwari. Manish Ravikiran Gore, son of Ravikiran and Kavita. Shweta Vitthal Pawar, daughter of Vitthal and Sujata. Yogita Prakash Labrath, daughter of Prakash and Chhaya.
Doctor of Philosophy Science in Biotechnology. Sir, let me call upon Professor Lakshmi Anantanarayan, Program Coordinator of Biotechnology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Biotechnology candidates. Professor Lakshmi Anantanarayan, please.
I, Professor Lakshmi Anantanarayan, Program Coordinator of the Biotechnology, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Biotechnology candidates. Vishwanath Sadanand Khadiye, son of Sadanand and Suvarna. Kritika Gupta, daughter of Vijay and Sangeeta. Tejal Vishwas Pant, daughter of Vishwas and Shubhada. Priyanka Sayaji Sathe, daughter of Sayaji and Surekha. Priyanka Shashikant Dargode, daughter of Shashikant and Mangala.
Doctor of Philosophy Science in Textile Chemistry. Sir, let me call upon Professor R.D. Kale, Head of the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, to present the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Textile Chemistry candidates. Professor Kale, please.
I, Professor Ravindra D. Kale, Head of the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Textile Chemistry candidates. Sneha Baba Saheb Parate, daughter of Baba Saheb and Rajeshri.
Doctor of Philosophy Science in Chemistry. Sir, let me call upon Professor B. M. Bhange, Head of the Department of Chemistry, to present the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Chemistry candidates. Professor Bhange, please.
I, Professor B. M. Bhange, Head Department of Chemistry, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Chemistry candidates. Deepak Suresh Desai, son of Suresh and Kalpana. Vishal Vasanta Fatke, son of Vasanta and Kalpana. Aniket Vishwas Gholab, son of Vishwas and Asha. Suyash Shashikant Mane, son of Shashikant and Surekha. Rushali Sakharam Raut, daughter of Sakharam and Vandana. Swarna Bharat Hivre, daughter of Bharat and Maya Devi.
Doctor of Philosophy Science in Physics. Sir, let me call upon Professor Mohan Narayan, Head of the Department of Physics, to present the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Physics candidates. Professor Mohan, please.
I, Professor Mohan Narayan, Head of the Department of Physics, would call the Doctor of Philosophy Science in Physics candidates Rishali Vijay Kumar Murudkar, daughter of Vijay Kumar and Vaishali; Arvind Rajdev Singh, son of Rajdev and Nirmala.
I request our registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, to share his advice with the students.
All those who have received their degrees today shall rise and remain standing till the Honorable Vice-Chancellor delivers the exhortation and pledge, and shall be seated only after the Honorable Vice-Chancellor takes his seat. Honorable Vice-Chancellor, I request your honor to deliver the exhortation.
Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwata. Great noble thoughts come to us from all directions. I am going to recite as a pledge which should be repeated by all the graduating students. I'll say one sentence and I will expect you to repeat after I finish saying that sentence. I take deep pride in my institute, its achievements and its eminence. It will be my endeavor to protect its reputation and legacy. I shall shun prejudice of all kinds and perform actions that are deemed righteous, morally, ethically, professionally and legally. I pledge today that I will serve ICT, India and the mankind with utmost sincerity and devotion. Thank you. I am requesting Honorable Chancellor to deliver his convocation address.
Most revered Professor M.M. Sharma, who has been a timeless inspirator, a living legend for all of us. Chief guest of the day, Dr. Shekhar Mande, the Director General of CSIR, our beloved Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Pandit, distinguished deans and faculty, proud graduates of the day, their equally proud parents and teachers, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by extending a very warm welcome to Dr. Shekhar Mande. He is presently, as you know, the Director General of CSIR, and I respect him enormously as a great individual, not only as a scientist, but a great science leader. After he took over CSIR, the way he has transformed it as a team CSIR, ensuring that in times of crisis for the country, like in COVID times, CSIR rises to the occasion and delivers their best in terms of technology, in terms of services. His performance has been absolutely incredible. In fact, as great that he's a scientist, great that he's a science leader, he's a great human being with great empathy, great compassion, great passion. My friends, particularly my young friends, I must emphasize that each time we try to get as chief guest somebody who will be an icon, whom you can emulate, whom you can consider as a role model. And I would consider Dr. Shekhar Mande as a role model for all of you. So Shekhar, a very, very warm welcome on behalf of my alma mater, ICT, Institute of Chemical Technology. You know, I love my alma mater so much. On the other day, somebody, while interviewing me, asked me a question as to tell me, you have got large number of honors and awards nationally, internationally. What is your best award, best honor? And I said, being the Chancellor of my alma mater. That is how much I value my alma mater. So thank you very much for making it today. I want to begin by congratulating the graduates of the day. As you know, universities can't build your future, but they can prepare you for the future. And our institute has actually prepared you for the future. And as you can see, the future is full of challenges, but full of opportunities. And converting adversities into opportunities is a big challenge, and our university has taught us on how to do it. Particularly, we are living in a VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. We just had COVID, we are recovering from it. We are having a great deal of reinvention, reimagining of how we'll develop the future, and then came this crisis of the war between Ukraine and Russia, which is affecting us with oil prices shooting up and so on. So my friends, dealing with such volatile, uncertain, complex world is something that you have to get basically used to. And I'm very happy that our institute has prepared you fully to face the future. Reflecting, just 6 months ago we had a convocation, but within 6 months a lot has happened to our great institutions. You know, there are national honors, there are international honors. One of the highest international honors for any engineer is getting elected to US National Academy of Engineering. In the entire history, only 18 Indians from India have been elected as fellows. Can you believe it? How many do come from our institute? 5 of them. Can you just imagine? 1/3 of all Indians who have been elected come from our institute. And I'm delighted that this year Professor G.D. Yadav got elected as a fellow of National Academy of Engineering, following Professor J.B. Joshi last year, who got elected as US National Academy of Engineering. And there, of course, followed our great guru, Professor M.M. Sharma, Mukesh Ambani, the greatest entrepreneur probably in the 21st century, will go down as, and of course I was there, so 5 of us. And in fact, one US professor said that let us look at all other chemical engineering departments even in the US, and he wondered as to whether there will be a handful who will have such a distinction. So I feel very, very, very proud. Congratulations, Professor Yadav. The other thing that I'm very happy about is the first edition of the top scientists in engineering and technology was released recently. And can you just believe it? In engineering and technology, among the top 5, the topmost is our Vice-Chancellor, Pandit. Then follows young Parag Gupte. And then follows our Professor J.B. Joshi, our former Vice-Chancellor. So Anirudh Pandit is number 1, Parag Gupte is number 2, and Professor J.B. Joshi is number 4. Isn't it a matter of pride to achieve such a thing? I must also say that as a Chancellor of the institute for over a decade now, I always felt that chemical engineers are performing, they have developed reputation, etc., etc. But ICT as a whole must develop reputation. That means all others must also equally excel. And I'm delighted to see that happen. For example, Professor Shekhar C, the head of our Department of Food Engineering and Technology, was elected as a fellow of Indian National Science Academy. It's a matter of great, great pride. You know why? Because the last time we had such election was Professor Srinivasan in 50s, who later on became the director of CFTRI. So after several decades, we have this particular election. So Rekha, my heartiest congratulations. We'd like to see more of it. Or also, if you look at the Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Technology, we had Vandana getting elected as a fellow this year. To what? To Abdul Kalam Technology Innovation Fellowship, National Academy of Engineering. That's again is a great honor. So pharma is doing it, food is doing it. I wish all other departments also follow, because ICT as a whole must shine, not part of sort of ICT. I always emphasize that education and research and innovation are very, very critical. And that is why when we talk about Vandana Patravale, we must also realize that she has not only done research, but also innovation. Many of her technologies, for example, are world-class and they're getting transferred. I'm very happy to see, for example, in terms of technology, this S4S technology is led by Vaibhav, Dr. Vaibhav, has actually got it's a startup, but it has got this 0.6 million award of Zayat Sustainable Award. You know, that's a great one, because in future, it is the startups who are going to create wealth, and we will like to see more and more of them actually coming up from our institute. The other point I want to make today is that when we look at engineering, for example, where will be the future of engineering? I've been on the jury of Queen Elizabeth Prize of Engineering. It's a £1 million prize, even higher in value than Nobel Prize in Science. And this is considered as a Nobel Prize in Engineering. And I remember when I got on the jury, they interviewed me as to what would be the future of engineering and which branch of engineering will sort of lead and the rest of it. I said, to me, there is no difference between chemical engineering, metallurgical engineering, and nautical engineering and others. There is only one, that is solution engineering. Engineer's job is to solve a problem. Engineer's job is to connect the science with the society. He's the bridge between the science in the society. He builds physical bridges, but this bridge is most important as a solution provider. And that is why what is most important for an engineer is the mind as well as mindset. Now, there is a mind which talks about learning habits, like curiosity, open-mindedness, resourcefulness, reflection, resilience, and equally importantly, the ethical part. Empathy is extremely important. Ethics and empathy. Engineer without empathy is no engineer. But there are habits of engineers that are very important. And they include visualizing, analyzing, improving, adopting. Most importantly, systems thinking, not a narrow thinking, but systems thinking. And problem solving. And solving problems that need to be solved, rather than that can be easily solved. And that is going to be the most critical. So I think within our institute, we have to see that whereas we give them domain knowledge, they can recite the Lee-Chatelier principle without any difficulty. That is all fine, the principles, rules, laws, methodologies, technologies, etc. But to me, these are most important. Things like critical thinking, creativity, dealing with complexity, emotional intelligence, cognitive flexibility, etc. And I find today we test the domain knowledge, but we don't test these abilities. I would like to suggest that ICT has been always a leader in everything that they do. So we have to be leader in education, we have to be leader in research, we have to be leader in innovation. I think let us start developing these sort of matrices, because they are far more important than the domain knowledge. That's the point number one. The second point I want to make is that ICT's job is not to produce just graduates, but leaders in different forms. And we have been producing sort of leaders. National Chemical Laboratory, for example, had many of its directors from ICT, whether it was Dr. Venkatraman, Dr. Tilak, whether myself, and now very proud Dr. Ashish Lele, or Ramarao becoming the director of Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and so on. And also enterprises. You look at Dr. Anji Reddy, for example, or Dr. K.K. Gharda, Mukesh Ambani, and so on and so forth. So I think one of the important things that we need to develop is leadership, and the highest level of leadership. Leaders who are able to think exponentially and creatively. Now, I must say, I must share with you all that we have this Asia Economic Dialogue, which is equivalent, as many people say, to Davos now, right? Where there are 15 or 16 nations participated, and it was a 3-day event. And very proud to say this is organized by Pune International Center and Ministry of External Affairs. And in the inaugural session, there was a fireside chat between me and Mukesh Ambani, who is our graduate. And what a chat it was. You already know that Mukesh is a transformative leader. We always talk about leapfrogging to pole vaulting. You remember my book, Leapfrogging to Pole Vaulting. Not jump like a frog because he's afraid of the predator and jump a few feet, but pole vault at the size of the pole. And that's what he has done. He has been a transformative leader, like what Jio was able to do. 500 million customers having 4 rupees per GB for data, the cheapest in the world, voice free, and he has done an absolute miracle. And now look at what he's doing, because sustainability is the key word. And therefore we are talking about green energy, new energy, green hydrogen, and so on. And in that conversation, he once again set kind of goals which will sort of shake up the world. Like when it comes to green hydrogen, he said 111, we'll deliver 111. What does that mean? That means 1 kilo of green hydrogen for just $1 within 1 decade for 1 billion people, 1 billion people. Now you can just imagine what it means. You know, amazing target. And I'm quite sure you'll reach it. So when I talk about leaders, once again, if you have to have a role model to become an entrepreneur, because some of you will get into research, some of them will get into teaching, some of them will want to become entrepreneurs, Mukesh is an idol as far as one can see. And in his speech, once again, the aspiration, you know, what he says is that we can become the Saudi Arabia of new energy, green energy. And we can export $500 billion, can you just imagine, worth new energy. Now here we are, worrying about $140 a barrel and what is going to happen to our economy, because we are very, very dependent upon oil and gas supply from the rest of the world, and he is setting an idea, not just importer, but becoming an exporter. That is real problem. So I think ICT does produce leaders like that. And I'm very proud to tell you that, by the way, that conversation between me and him is on the YouTube. Please have a look at it. Where at a point in time, he credits Professor M.M. Sharma, myself, and an institute, you know, for what he calls it, teaching me the first principles. He said, which has come handy in the rest of it. So you can just imagine the kind of influence we can have in creating the future leaders, and we should be proud of. So that is one part we wanted to talk about. And I finally like to end, as always, with my 5 Mashelkar mantras for every batch, and those 5 Mashelkar mantras are very simple. I think the first is aspirations. Aspirations are your possibilities. Keep them high. Okay. Now, let us look at the individual aspirations, like I talked about Mukesh and so on, but also institutional aspirations. Today, for example, in the NIRF ranking, we are 27th. Our aspiration must be to be in the top 5. How do we do that? IITs are occupying the space. No, that is not anybody's prerogative. We can. Look at engineering. We are 15th, basically. Why should we be 15th? And of course, there is a silver line to it, because non-centrally funded universities, only Jadavpur and us, are sort of listed. But forget about it. How can we be sort of number 1? In terms of science, the quality of science that we do, you know, they say in science only 2 are remembered. Those who say the first word in science and those who say the last word in science. And we have had tradition, like our guru, great guru, Professor M. Sharma. Look at his early work, for example. The breakthrough that he had. I mean, as you said, chemical methods of finding the interfacial area or transport coefficients, you will immediately say Professor M. Sharma. He was the first one, as I said, those who say the first word matter, to show the chemical method for finding out liquid-liquid interfacial areas, or the influence of enormous augmentation that you have by presence of particles smaller than the diffusion thickness, etc., etc. I would like to see not just the numbers, not just the citations and so on and so forth, but breakthroughs where people will say they have compromised. So this is the first mantra in terms of aspirations. Secondly, particularly for outgoing young students, I want to tell you that hard work, there is no substitute. Young people want instant success. Like instant coffee, there is no instant success. You have to work hard. I'll be touching 80 on 1st January, and I can tell you that I work 24/7, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and will do so till I breathe my last. So that is second Mashelkar month. The third is purpose, perseverance, and passion matters. You have to have a big purpose, not just for yourself, not for just your family or institution, for the nation, North Star, you know, and perseverance. It is always too early to give up. Winners are never quitters, quitters are never winners. Fail, you will fail as we move forward. You will fail when you try to do something which is not copying but going ahead of the rest of the world. So interpret fail as FAI, first attempt in learning. Your best guru is your last mistake, as long as you don't repeat it but learn from it. That's the third. The fourth is you keep on knocking on the doors of opportunities and they don't open. What do? You become frustrated, right? You give up. Don't do that. If those doors don't open, open your own doors. I'll give you my own example. In 1976, when I came back to NCR, my first equipment that I needed, Weisenberg rheometer, will take 2 years to get it because we didn't have foreign exchange. So there were restrictions, DGTD clearance, not manufactured in India certificate. Okay, so what do? Do I just fold my hands and wait for that door to open after the equipment comes to start a school in non-Newtonian fluid mechanics? I said, forget about it. I'm not getting that equipment. What is the equipment God has given me? This. I used it to do modeling and simulation. And can you believe it? I started in 1977. For a Bhatnagar prize, it takes 5 years. 77 plus 5, 82. In 82, I got the Bhatnagar prize. Had I just waited there, what would have happened? So create your own laws. And the last one is, there is no limit to imagination, no limit to human achievement, accepting the limit that you put on yourself. I mean, you look at the environment today. We talked about our institute being education, research, innovation, entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, we are talking about startups now. Okay. Within startups now, as you can see, India to the last count had 88 unicorns. Unicorns means their market cap is $1 billion. Can you just imagine young people in late 20s becoming billionaires? Why not a unicorn from our institute? We have to say that yes, we can do it, and yes, we will. Similarly, in science, for example, yes, National Academy of Engineering, but there are others like National Academy of Science, Fellowship of Royal Society, even Queen Elizabeth Prize of Engineering. Why not? So let's say that there are no limits to what we think and we can achieve, and if we have that yes, we can spirit. So I'd like to end by once again congratulating the outgoing graduates, and I wish you all the very best. You have my choicest blessings for a great, great success as you walk up on that limitless ladder of excellence. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I request the Honorable Vice-Chancellor to introduce our chief guest.
I am very happy to introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Shekhar C. Mande. Born on 5th of April 1962, after graduating from physics using physics, chemistry, mathematics and subject in 1982, he completed his post-graduation from Nagpur University in physics, X-ray and electronics. Subsequently, he did his PhD from Indian Institute of Science 1991 in molecular biophysics. He was a postdoctoral fellow at Groningen University, Netherlands, then a senior fellow at University of Washington, Seattle, and then came back and joined Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh, as a scientist C. Then became a staff scientist at Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics, Hyderabad, and continued there till 2011 in different positions of scientist, and then shifted to staff scientist 8, and in 2011 he moved to the directorship of National Center for Cell Sciences, Pune. On October 16, 2018, he was appointed Secretary DSIR and Director General CSIR, which he is currently holding. Dr. Mande has received numerous awards and fellowships. He received Indian Academy of Sciences Fellowship in 2003. Subsequently, he got Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award for Biological Sciences in 2005, and then became fellows of all the academies, Indian National Science Academy in 2010, Andhra Pradesh Academy of Sciences in 2010. He also got Wellcome Trust International Senior Research Fellowship during the period 2003 to 2008. Got BM Birla Young Scientist Award in 1999, and is a life member of Indian Crystallographic Association, Indian Science Congress Association, and Indian Biophysical Society. His academic interests are in the protein structure and function, biology of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, application of graph theory to large-scale protein interaction networks, and computational methods to analyze large-scale biological data. As you can see, is a perfect blend, as I said earlier, between the mathematical sciences and life sciences. I request Dr. Shekhar Mande to give his address on this 11th convocation as a chief guest. Thank you.
I now request our beloved chief guest, Dr. Shekhar Mande, to deliver his address.
Honorable Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology and also former Director General CSIR, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, Vice-Chancellor ICT, Professor Pandit, Directors of Bhubaneswar and Jalna campuses, Professor Annapure and Professor Bhavia, Honorable Members of Board of Governors, Deans, distinguished invitees, Professor M.M. Sharma, Professor J.B. Joshi, Professor T.K. Venkateshan, ex-Vice-Chancellor Professor G.D. Yadav, distinguished and learned faculties, and proud graduates of the day, and equally proud parents, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you on this historic event of the 11th Convocation Day of the Institute of Chemical Technology Mumbai. Let me begin with congratulating all the graduates today and their parents for giving their best to their children in the form of education in order for them to witness their graduation day. My heartfelt congratulations and special appreciation goes to those who have received awards, medals, distinctions from the prestigious ICT that has been granted the elite status and Center of Excellence on par with IITs, IISc and IISers. For the graduating students, today is a special moment. It is the result of years of hard work and dedication on your part and on the part of your teachers as well as your family members. Nothing comes easy. You have plowed through years of problem sets, spent many sleepless nights, browsing through notebooks, and today you are the graduates of one of the premier technical institutes of the country. Graduation is a phase of life where some may have job offers, and for some, the next step is not clearly laid out. This phase is associated with the feeling of excitement and possibility mixed in with just a tiny bit of overwhelming uncertainty. Things may not always materialize as you think, but you'll gain valuable lessons along life's uncertain paths. With great achievements come great responsibilities. Let me warn you, the degree earned today have also brought responsibilities along to be carried for the society, and I am very much sure that all the recipients will contribute immensely to our society and our nation. In today's world, science has changed the outlook of the society. There was an era when development of a vaccine was a years-long phenomenon. Forget about the time things would have consumed conducting clinical trials, approvals for human usage, etc. But today, when we are fighting the pandemic worldwide, and with the development of vaccines and its applications in record minimum time, this is an achievement in itself. The scientists working in the field of interdisciplinary science and technology fields work together to meet the medical, technical, logistic, IT, and various other demands in the pandemic, particularly for vaccine development. And our own scientists working in the field of chemical technology have contributed to meet the enormous demand of vaccine for the nation. Let me give you an example. Where, in these years, we came across the development of indigenous vaccine Covaxin of Bharat Biotech International Limited, which was rolled out to fight against COVID-19. In order to produce the vaccine in bulk scale, Bharat Biotech International Limited required imidazole, which in larger quantities as a part of the adjuvant component of the vaccine became an important gradient. There, our scientists with their expertise in chemical technologies came forward and assisted Bharat Biotech to develop a scalable and cost-effective synthetic process route to make the adjuvant molecule in the desired quantities. This helped enormously to fulfill vaccine for all motto of the nation, and of which we are all a part of now. We are all a very proud part of now. In the worst situations, despite being at home or offices, at our own places, we are still connected with each other. This is all because of the scientific progress and technological advances favoring the progress of the mankind and thus our society. Today, we are witnessing this e-convocation, which is a live example of our progress. It was hard time for the last 2 years, especially for students at all levels, whether a school student or an undergrad, graduate, or a research student, to continue and progress in their academics and research, and also for the institutes and the faculties to facilitate and mentor their students. I am sure the students graduating these years have really faced grim situations for their studies and research, and also the faculties who have taken tremendous efforts to meet the time demands of the online courses and research advice. But as I said, we are fighters, and you all, the students and the faculties and the institution, have fought well for your progress even in these difficult times. Hats off to you, each one of you, for achieving graduation during these specific years. It is not only about your specialized field of work. Today is the era of interdisciplinary development for the benefit of the society. A blend of biology and agriculture with technology, the era of artificial intelligence and machine learning, developments through Industry 4.0, and other exploratory fields. I urge each one of you to keep yourself open for opportunities to learn and explore in various possible ways. Keep the spark of learning always ignited within yourselves. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of your lives and your careers. I have no doubt that you will be great technologists, you'll be great scientists, you'll be great entrepreneurs, and you may even excel in your professional fields. But don't leave to be a learner, an educator, and a kind human being above all. Keep enlightening yourselves with the wisdom of knowledge and show the right path to others to excel. And this should be a mantra in your lives in future. Today's world is very much a globalized one. And as the graduates of a professional university with an international repute and recognition, who has given many laureates to the nation and internationally, you are well positioned to lead and contribute in the progress of our country and the world, and bring more laurels to you, your family, and our nation. As graduates, you are ready to make a profound difference, becoming the next generation of global leaders in your fields, here in India and around the world. Congratulations once again to all of you, and all the best wishes for success and progress in your life. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
I request our Vice-Chancellor to present a memento to our chief guest. I invite our Honorable Registrar to request the Chancellor to close the convocation.
Honorable Chancellor, I request your honor to kindly declare the convocation closed.
I declare the convocation closed.
Let us end this ceremony on a note of peace and spirituality. I request Parth Vaidya and Madhulika to recite the Pasayadan, followed by Vande Mataram.
आता विश्वात्मके देवे येणे वाग्यज्ञे तोषावे तोषो निमज द्यावे पसाय दान हे जे खळांची व्यंकटी सांडो तया सत्कर्मी रती वाढो भूतां परस्परे पडो मैत्र जीवाचे दुरितांचे तिमिर जाओ विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो जे वांछिल तो ते लाहो प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वरनिष्ठांची मांदियाळी अनवरत भूमंडळी भेट तू भूतां चला कल्पतरूंचे आरव चेतना चिंतामणींचे गाव बोलते जे अर्णव पियुषाचे चंद्रमे जे अलांछन मार्तंड जे तापहीन ते सर्वाही सदा सज्जन सोय रे होतु किंबहुना सर्वसुखी पूर्ण होनी तिन्ही लोकी भजिजो आदि पुरुखी अखंडित आणि ग्रंथोपजीविये विशेषी लोकीये दृष्टादृष्ट विजये होवावे जी येथ म्हणे श्री विश्वेश्वराओ हा होईल दान पसाओ येणे वरे ज्ञान देओ सुखिया झाला. श्यामला मातरं वन्दे मातरं शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी फुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुर भाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं
As the Honorable Chancellor has declared the convocation closed, and I request the procession to depart from the hall, the assembly shall remain seated till the procession departs the hall.